everybody, thanks so much for coming back for one of my videos. This video is going to be a full drugstore affordable products video. I love drugstore products. Majority of the makeup I use is drugstore. Stores recently just upped their game on products. Their products work honestly as well as high-end products, if not better. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy this video and let's get into it. So I'm taking this Wet n Wild Au Naturel palette in Nude Awakening. I'm starting with this kind of taupey, cool brown shade, and I'm going to apply that right into my crease as a transition shade. So this is actually the first time I've ever used this palette, and I really, really like it. I did purchase my palette at Walmart, and it was around $6. And I'm just going to continue to blend that color right into the crease and make sure it's well blended out. And I do dip my brush into the product quite a few times to build the product up. Now I'm just taking a fluffier brush and blending out the edges. Next, I'm just dipping into this pinky sparkly color, and I'm going to apply that with my fingertips on top of my lid. I forgot to mention earlier, but this palette does not have names for their shadows. It's a good palette. I did have to work with it a little bit because the eyeshadows aren't super pigmented. I just dipped into that taupey brown color again, and I'm going over my crease. So like I said, they aren't super pigmented, but they're not chalky either. And it's $6, so I was super willing to work with it. Now I'm taking the other pink sparkly color, but it's lighter, so I was hoping that it would show up more on my lid. I definitely think adding the lighter shade of pink helped this look become a little bit more intense. Now I'm taking that taupey brown color again on my crease and just blending it out. So I was noticing that the more I went back in on my crease to blend it out and deepen it, that the pink color on my lid was fading away. So I'm just taking this brush and I wet it with a little bit of Fix Plus, dipped it back into that pinky color, and now I'm just going over it. Hopefully it stays. And I think this extra step did help with the pigment of the shadow in the end. And then one more time going into my crease with that same color. So for this look, I actually only used 2 shadows. Now I am using these lashes by Kiss and this Strip Lash Adhesive by Kiss as well, and just curling my lashes. As you can see, I did apply my wing liner off camera. I used the Wet n Wild liquid liner. I really, really like it. It's matte and it stays all day. Now I'm using this mascara by L'Oreal. It's the voluminous one in Carbon Black. Alright, the lashes are now on, and I'm going to start priming my skin. I'm using the Nivea Men Sensitive Post Shave Balm. I'm sure you've tried this, but if you haven't tried this, this is so good. It makes your makeup last all day. It gets super tacky, so that helps it stay. It's like $5 at Walmart. Just try it. I'm just picking up the infamous Matte and Poreless Foundation by Maybelline. I'm in the shade 128. Really quick, I want to talk about the sponge I'm using. This is the L'Oreal sponge that they just came out with. Yeah, it's new. It's $8. I love it way more than the Beauty Blender, you guys. I love how much bigger it is than the Beauty Blender, so it's quicker to blend out your face in my opinion, but it also has the other side that's smaller, so you can get into your under eye and then your nose and all those kinds of things. But the Beauty Blender is $20, and I love this one way more. I'm just blending out the foundation. Even though this foundation is matte, I have really dry skin, but this doesn't crack on me. It doesn't pick up my dry spots. I really, really like it. It does dry fast, so I try to work fast when blending it out. Now I'm taking this concealer by LA Girl. It's called the Pro Conceal High Definition Concealer. Story behind this, I used to hate it. The first time I tried it, it creased on me, it picked up my dry spots, it was horrible, and I hated it. But I tried it again a couple weeks ago. I don't know if my skin is different. I don't know if the formula is different, but it was beautiful. It left my under eye creaseless, and it looked flawless. I was in love. Now I am taking this contouring palette by Wet n Wild in the shade Dulce de Leche, and I'm taking the lighter shade and I'm just setting my under eyes with this light powder. And to set the rest of my face, I'm taking this Wet n Wild mattifying powder in Matte About You. And to finish up the eyes, I'm going back in with the Wet n Wild palette, and I'm going to be taking this like deep reddish color, and I'm going to be using that for my lower lash line. And now I'm taking this Wet n Wild highlighter in the shade Crown of My Canopy, and I'm just going to be putting a little bit of that into my inner corners. Max Volume Mascara by Wet n Wild. I'm going to be using this mascara to coat my bottom lashes. I love using this mascara on my bottom lashes because I feel like the wand is so skinny. I can really get up on in there. Now I'm taking that same contouring palette from earlier I used to set my under eye, but now I'm using the darker shade and I'm going to be using that to contour my face. And now I'm taking the lighter shade from the palette with my L'Oreal sponge and I'm going to be carving out that cheek. I really like this palette by Wet n Wild. I feel like the product is so creamy and super blendable and super buildable. It is super pigmented though, so I always make sure to tap off the excess product before I go in on my face. And then I like to take that darker shade from the contouring palette and I like to use it like all over my forehead, on my temples, under my jawline, around my chin area to warm up my face, like everything look a little bit more natural. A little bit more natural, and then it also slims out my chin area. Now I'm taking this blush by Wet n Wild. The shade is called Mellow Wine. This is one of my favorite blushes. I feel like it goes with every makeup look, and I think it was like $4. I got mine at Walmart. And now I'm just taking the same highlighter from earlier by Wet n Wild in the shade Crown of My Canopy. I love this highlighter because it's a little bit darker, and because my skin tone is more on the tan side, the pearly white highlighters look really bad on my skin. They look really powdery and super unnatural. Whereas to this one, I think because it's a little bit darker, I think it looks more natural and more like a glow from within, if you will. But these highlighters are super creamy and super pigmented and really affordable, and I love them. So now I'm just taking a bigger brush and just blending away that lighter shade I used to carve out my cheeks. Now I am just using my L'Oreal sponge to kind of blend and melt together that contour, highlight, and blush. Now I'm just taking one of my oldie but goodies. This is the NYX Matte Lip Cream in the shade Abu Dhabi. Alright guys, so that does conclude this video. Thank you again so much for watching it. Remember, you can leave a comment down below of any questions you may have or comments you may have, and I will get back to you. And also remember, you can still subscribe to my channel. It's free. It's free to subscribe, so go ahead and do that, and it'll alert you and let you know every time I come out with a new video. Other than that, thank you so much again for watching, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!